The Islamic Centre for Africa has welcomed the decision by some Western nations to recognize the state of Palestine. It says this is a right move, especially as the conflict continues in Gaza. It hosted an event here in Johannesburg to commemorate the legacy of former Hezbollah leaders. Khayelihle Khumalo has those details.
Well, very much so. A very solemn occasion here. It's all about paying homage and remembering those past leaders from Lebanon. It comes at a critical time where we've seen those developments at the UN General Assembly, a number of countries in Europe really recognizing also the state of Palestine. But really to reflect on the importance of today, we do have Zakaria with us. So thank you so much indeed, sir, for your time. Maybe just first of all, let's look at the importance of today. We know that the conflict continues in the Middle East.
Most definitely. Thank you very much for the opportunity. It comes at a very important time. This now marks 1 year since the martyrdom of the leader, the Secretary General of Hezbollah, Mr. Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah. And Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah, for myself and many of my colleagues, friends, and those that are attending this event, had a very important role in that he stood as a vanguard protecting the Palestinian people. And we see the impact of Hezbollah's operations on the Palestinian space, and particularly Gaza, because they had drawn 5 divisions up to the north, allowing Gaza to breathe. And we see in the absence of Hezbollah's full capability, we see the genocide going full blast in Gaza, where they are now attacking a city, Gaza city. They are exterminating people en masse, and you can see the role Hezbollah played. And it is sad that the world had only come to see the light now, but better late than never. And it is true that at this moment in time, the world sees the truthfulness of Hassan Nasrallah's words that the Zionist entity has become a genocidal state and must be brought to book and must be reined in and must be stopped.
Let's look at those developments. I mean, the likes of UK, Canada, recognizing Palestine, the quest for the statehood. What did you make of those developments?
It becomes very difficult to interpret this as a philanthropic action by these nations, because many of them have been implicated in providing armaments, intelligence and support, diplomatic support for Israel's actions. We are now almost 2 years on with the Gaza genocide that is taking place. So it begs the question, why now and what is the situation? And we see this in tandem with what is being asked, is that it must be a two-state solution. And the reason for that, and we see this coming out of Israeli generals, there's an organization called CIS, Commanders for Israel's Security, speaking about the very same thing, that they must recognize the rights of Palestinians, go towards a two-state solution to ensure the survivability of the Zionist entity. So this is an act of saving Israel, because Israel's trajectory right now is that of the Greater Israel Project, and this will inevitably bring about global condemnation and an end to the Zionist project. So that is what it's really about. If it is truly about philanthropy, if it is about protecting the people of Gaza, why not send in peacekeepers? Why not rein in Israel's military actions? We do see some movement in this regard, and we see this, for example, with the navies of Italy, with the navies of Greece, with the Navy of Spain, providing a military support, a naval support for the convoy that's moving towards Gaza in terms of the flotilla. So that is what we need to see, and that is how we can gauge the bona fides. But to merely give words, to give these beautiful explanations about how Palestinians need rights, these fall short of the actions that is required to stop the daily massacre of largely children. I think we need to contextualize what is happening, that this is not really a war against adults. 50% plus of Gaza is under the age of 18. We are witnessing a satanic ritual of sacrifice of children en masse that is being broadcast before our eyes, and that is what we are seeing today. We need action, not just words.
And just before we let you go, I mean, obviously, we've seen a number of countries as well calling for the flotilla to be protected, for all the guys on board to get in there in those international waters. And I would imagine that you concur with that sentiment.
Yes, we need support. We have a South African, the grandson of the late President Nelson Mandela, Khayelihle Mandela, is on the flotilla at the moment, and they have been subjected to numerous attacks by the Zionist entity. We know very well what Israel is capable of when we look at the flotilla that was headed by the Mavi Marmara, where Israeli special forces then rappelled down back onto the deck and massacred those peaceful activists that were on board. What is being asked for is not unreasonable. Allow food and supplies into Gaza. Do not weaponize aid and use food as a weapon of starvation and to achieve political means. This is a right of every human being, and this is what we are asking for. Protect that right and do not play political games with the lives of innocent people.